डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Namaskar students, welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University's Video 8 lecture session. I, Dr. Nikita Gadani, Assistant Professor in Department of English, School of Humanities and Social Sciences at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Today our topic for lecture, that is Paper 3, History of English Literature, and unit, that is Romantic Age, Major Writers and Literary Works. Yes, so components of our today's presentations are that today we'll be talking about the objectives, then we'll be talking about the introduction, then after that we'll be talking about the William Wordsworth and Samuel Coleridge, the major writers of the Romantic Age, then we'll be talking about the Edgar Allan Poe and P.B. Shelley. After that we'll be talking about the Robert Burns and John Keats. Then after we'll be talking about the Robert Southey and George Crabbe. Then we'll be talking about the George Gordon and Lord Byron and Sir Walter Scott. Then we'll be talking about the John Clare. Then we'll be summing up our today's session, and then we'll have exercises, and then after that we'll have suggested books and reading. So objectives of our today's presentations are that to introduce major writers of Romantic Age and familiarize the students with their life. Then we'll be talking about to enable to get detailed information about the literary works. Yes, you rightly caught that. In this unit we'll be talking about the writers of Romantic Age and their life and their major literary works and their contributions towards the literature. And then after we'll be talking about to critically evaluate the major literary works of that age. So yes, starting with this one by one, and first talking about that why romantic writers were so important. So Romanticism was a movement that dominated all the genres including literature, music, art and architecture in Europe and United States in the first half of the 19th century. It originated in the late 18th century as a reaction against the idea of order, calm, harmony, idealizations and rationality which marked classicism in general and late 18th century of neoclassicism in particular. So it was influenced by the German movement Sturm and Drang, that is Sturm and Drang, which focused on emotion as opposed to rationalism. So Romanticism laid emphasis on emotion and individualism as well as glorification of the past and the nature. So the movement was partly a reaction to the Industrial Revolution and the scientific rationalizations of nature. The best known English romantic poets include that Black Coleridge, Wordsworth, Keats, Byron, Shelley. Like in America, the most famous romantic poet was Edgar Allan Poe, while in France it was Victor Maria, and then he was the leading figure of the movement. So here are the most famous romantic poets and their best known works that we'll be talking about one by one. So first we'll be starting with the William Wordsworth. Yes, so Wordsworth along with Coleridge launched the Romantic Age in English literature with the publications of lyrical ballads in 1798. The years 1797 to 1808 are now recognized as the best years of the Wordsworth and are known as his great decade. So after struggling initially, Wordsworth became one of the most renowned poets in his later years and was appointed Poet Laureate of Britain in 1843. So the brilliant and autobiographical epic is widely regarded by critics as his greatest work, though his most popular poems is perhaps I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, commonly known as the Daffodils. So William Wordsworth is considered as a pioneer of Romanticism and one of the greatest poets in English literature. His famous poems includes Daffodils, Titian Abbey, the Prelude in 1850, and he remained a formidable presence in his later years. In 1837, the Scottish poet and the playwright Joanna Baillie reflected one of her long acquaintances with Wordsworth. He looks like a man that one must not speak to unless one has some sensible thing to say. However, he does occasionally converse cheerfully and well, and when one knows how benevolent and excellent he is, it disposes one to be very much pleased with him. In 1838, Wordsworth received an honorary doctorate in civil law from the University of Durham, and following years he was awarded the same honorary degree by the University of Oxford when John Cable praised him as the poet of humanity. And praise is greatly appreciated by the Wordsworth. So it has been argued that Wordsworth was a great influence on Cable immensely popular book of the devotional poetry, The Christian Year, that in 1827 too. So in 1842, the government awarded him a civil list pensions of $300 a year. So following the death of Robert Southey in 1843, Wordsworth became poet laureate. He initially refused the honor, saying that he was too old, but accepted when the Prime Minister Robert Peel assured him that you shall have nothing required of you. Wordsworth thus became the only poet laureate to write no official verses. The sudden death of his daughter Dora in 1847 at the age of 42 was difficult for the aging poet to take, and in his depression he completely gave up writing new material. Another writer we have, that is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and along with William Wordsworth, Coleridge is credited with the founding the Romanticism movement in England. In 1797, the two friends broke the decorum of neoclassical verses with daring original poetic works which laid emphasis on emotion and glorification of nature. So the following year, the collection of poetry, lyrical ballads was published, and though the immediate reaction to lyrical ballads was modest, it is now considered a landmark work which changed the course of English literature and poetry by launching the influential Romantic movement. Coleridge is one of the most important figures in English poetry who deeply influenced the major poets of his era, including Wordsworth as well. So among other things, he is credited with the utilizing everyday language to express profound poetic images and ideas. His famous poems includes Kubla Khan, Christabel, and the Rime of the Ancient Mariner in 1798. Now talking about the Robert Southey, he was born in Vine Street, Bristol, to Robert Southey and Margaret Hill. He was educated at the Westminster School, London, and at Balliol College, Oxford. He said of Oxford, all I learnt was a little swimming and little boating. Experimenting with writing, partnership with the Samuel Taylor Coleridge, most notably in their joint compositions of The Fall of Robespierre, Southey published his first collections of the poem in 1794. And the same year, Southey, Coleridge, Robert Lowell, and several others discussed creating an idealistic community on the banks of the river in America. So, he was an English poet of the Romantic school and one of the Lakes poets, along with the William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and England's poet for the 30 years from 1813 until his death in 1843. So, although his fame has been eclipsed by that of the Wordsworth and Coleridge, his works still enjoy some popularity. His poetry includes the Inchpaki Rock, After Blenheim, and many more. So now talking about the Edgar Allan Poe, that widely regarded as a central figure of the Romanticism in the United States. Edgar Allan Poe is one of the most influential and famous figures of American literature. His poem appears throughout popular cultures and lines from them are often quoted. Poe is celebrated as a supreme exponent of dark romanticism, as genre which focuses on human frailty, self-discretion, judgment, punishment, and the demonic, as well as the psychological effects of guilt and sin. One of the prominent themes in his poem is the death of young, beautiful, and dearly loved woman, which he called the most poetic topic in the world. The best known poem of the Poe is The Raven. The influenced numerous later work, including the famous painting Nevermore by Paul. And apart from being one of the most famous poets, Edgar Allan Poe is considered the inventor of the detective fiction genre and an important contribution to the emerging genre of the science fiction. His poems includes The Raven in 1845, Annabel Lee, and The Dream Within a Dream. So now moving ahead with the other writers, that P.B. Shelley, and he considered was one of the leading second generation romantic poets, and he also created and also known for the best of his works, and he also contributed in this movement. He was a controversial writer whose poems are marked by uncompromising idealism and great personal conviction. Though he produced works throughout his life, most publishers and journals declined to publish them for fear of being arrested for either profanity or sedition. As a result, Shelley couldn't gather a mainstream following during his lifetime. However, his popularity grew steadily following his death, and ultimately he achieved worldwide fame and acclaim. So, apart from being an idol for later generation of poets, he also exerted influence on such prominent figures as the German philosopher Karl Marx and the Indian freedom fighter Mahatma Gandhi. He is considered one of the greatest poets in the English language. His works includes Ozymandias, Ode to the West Wind, Prometheus, Unbound. And now talking about the other writers, that is Robert Burns. That Robert Burns is widely regarded as the national poet of the Scotland. He is considered a pioneer of Romanticism who had major influence on the movement. The poetic style of the Burns is marked by the spontaneity and sincerity, and it ranges from love to the intensity of humor and satire. His best known works include Scots Wha Hae, which served as an official national anthem of the Scotland for many years. A Red Rose, among the best known love poems. Robert Burns is the most widely read Scottish poet, and he is celebrated not only in his country but around the world as well. He remains a cultural icon in his nation, and in 2009 he was voted as the greatest Scot by the Scottish public in a vote run by Scottish television channel STV. His famous works includes To a Mouse, A Red Rose. Now moving further with the John Keats. So along with Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley, John Keats was one of the most prominent figure of the second generations of the English Romantic poets. Keats died due to the tuberculosis in 1821 at the age of only 25. So you can imagine that in the very less amount of time he had written so many works. His work was in publications for only 4 years and it was not generally well received by the critics during his lifetime. However, his reputation grew after his death, and by the end of the 19th century, he became one of the most beloved of all English poets. The most famous and acclaimed poems of Keats are a series of 6 odes known as the Odes of 1899, and the most highly regarded among them is to Autumn, which has been called one of the most perfect short poems in the English language. Through his 1819 odes, Keats created a new type of short lyrical poem which influenced later generations. His work includes To Autumn, Ode to a Grecian's On, When I Have a Fears. Now moving ahead with the other writers, that is Robert Southey, and he was closely associated with the Wordsworth and Coleridge and was looked upon as a prominent member with them of the Lake School of the poetry. His originality is best seen in his ballads and his 9 English eclogues, 3 of which were first published in the 1799 volume of his poems, with a prologue explaining that these words, sketches of contemporary life, bore no resemblance to any poem in our language. His Oriental narrative poems, Thalaba the Destroyer and The Curse of Kehama, were successful in their own time, but his fame is based on his prose work, The Life of Nelson, and his classical formulations of the children's tale, The Three Bears. Now moving further with the other writers, that is George Crabbe, and he wrote poetry of another kind. His sensibility, his values, much of his diction and his heroic couplet verse belong to the 18th century. He differs from the earlier Augustines, however, in his subject matters, concentrating on the realistic and sentimental accounts of the life of the poor and the middle class. He shows considerable narrative gifts in his collective of verse tales, in which he anticipates many short story techniques and great powers of description. His anti-pastoral The Village appeared in 1783, and after a long silence he returned to poetry with the Parish Register in 1807. The Borough, The Tale in Verse, and The Tales of the Hall, which gained him great popularity in the early 19th century. Now moving further with the George Gordon, and he differed from the Shelley and Keats in themes and manners. Was one of them is reflecting their shift toward Mediterranean topics, having thrown down the Gruntle in the early poems, English bards and the Scotch reviewers, in which he directed particular scorn at poets of the sensibility and declared his own elegances to the Milton, Dryden and Pope, and he developed a poetry of dash and flair, in many cases with a striking hero. His 2 longest poems, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, that is 1812 to 18, and Don John, his masterpiece, provided alternative personae for himself and the one a bitter and melancholy exile among the heroic sides of Europe. The other of the Picaresque adventure, enjoying a series of amorous adventure. The gloomy and the misanthropic vein was further mined in dramatic poems such as Manfred and the Klein, which helped to secure his reputations in Europe. But he is now remembered best of his witty, ironic, and less significant writings such as Beppo, in which he first used the Ottawa rhyme form. The essay non-Clanton biting style developed there became a formidable deceive in Don John and his satire on Saudi, the vision of the judgment. Now talking about Sir Walter Scott, he was the English writer who can in the fullest sense be called a romantic novelist. And after a successful career as a poet, Scott switched to prose fictions in 1814, which the first of the Waverley novels. In the first phase of his work as a novelist, Scott wrote about the Scotland of the 17th and 18th centuries, charting the gradual transitions from the feudal era into the modern world in a series of vivid human dramas. Waverley in 1814, Guy Mannering, this 1815, Old Morality, Rob Roy, and The Heart of Midlothian are the masterpieces of this period. In a second phase, beginning with Illawarra in 1890s, Scott turned to stories set in medieval England, and finally with Quentin Durward in 1823 he added European settings to his historical reportage. And Scott combined a capacity for comic social observations with a romantic sense of landscape and an epic garden. So enlarging the scope of the novel in a ways that equip into the become of dominant literary form of the later 19th century. And now talking about the John Clare, a man of a humble background, achieved early success with poems descriptive of rural life and serenity. The Village Minstrel and the Shepherd's Calendar, both his reputations and his mental health collapsed in the late 1830s. He spent the later years of his life in an asylum in Northampton. The poetry he wrote there was rediscovered in the 20th century, and his natural simplicity and lucidity of diction, his intent observation, his almost classical poise, and the unamusing dignity of his attitude to life make him one of the most quietly moving of the English poets. So now summing up with this unit, what you have learned, that you have learned major writers of the Romantic age and their works. So now moving further with the questions and answers, or discuss any two of writers of Romantic age. So here we have discussed more than 8 to 10 writers. So amongst them you can talk about any two writers in this answer. Now major theme of the Romantic period, discuss. So what you need to do, that you need to discuss that what is the major theme of that period and why that was the thing, and why the title is given to this era, that is Romantic age. That you need to write in this answer. And after that you have a few short notes in front of you. For example, William Wordsworth. What you can do, you can start with your answer with introductions, and then you can talk about William Wordsworth's life, his education, his contribution towards literature, and apart from that you can also talk about his major contributions and his major works. Then you have a Samuel Coleridge. As we have discussed, you can talk about his writer's life, you can talk about his works, you can talk about his major works and why they were known as, his works known most acclaimed works, that you can write in your answer. Then we have Edgar Allan Poe. So same you can write down in your answer that you can start with the writer's life, then you can talk about his education, his early life, and then you can write his major works, and then you can talk about the writers. Then we have a PB Shelley, the same thing, you can write about the writer's life, you can write about early life of them, and you can also write about their educations and their contribution to literature. Then you have Robert Burns and John Keats. So these are the questions in front of you, and I hope that you have understood the topic. And then we have a references over here. So these are the list of references that you can read about, you can get the more knowledge by reading this, and also there are things available on online internet. You can also find out apart from this major writers, you can also get writers of romantic age, and you can read and you can expand your knowledge. And I hope that you have understood the topic, you have understood the writers and their works, and why they are known as the romantic writers, and what contributions they gave to this romantic movement, and why they are the first generations of the romantic writers, second generation of the romantic period, third generation of the romantic period. I hope that you understood the topic, you have understood the thing. And then lastly, thank you so much. Namaskar. See you soon in next session. Till then, goodbye.
स्वाध्यायः परमः